this post is like talking about, if it is not okay to support Hitler, then how could we worship a God that drowned almost everyone on earth? And think of the millions of children that this God drowned. Take your time, but the longer it takes you to figure it out, the dumber you are. Okay. This dude doesn't even realize he's comparing nature with Hitler. Okay? He's literally comparing nature with Hitler. So his whole argument of trying to be an atheist collapses on itself because he thinks that God is anthropomorphic instead of just nature. You know? Every self-proclaimed atheist is a poser. Okay? If they can't see that natural law is God, then they're a poser. The only true atheists are the ones that would believe in what Spinoza's God would be. The natural law. And that's what I try to explain with people. That's the laws of thermodynamics. The male and female energy, which birth a living universe. Okay? It's a supreme existence that's born, or supreme being, instead of a human being. When the nuclear male energy and the female energy conceive a human being, that's love, or that's a plan. You know, it's like God's plan when the universe is born, or God's love, you know, or the divine conception. See what I'm saying? All the stuff fits. You just got to have your perspective right. And a lot of perspectives are wrong, and these people that claim to be atheists are like the most fake-ass persons of all. Now look at this. Okay, he's already comparing nature to Hitler. All right, now look at this. You know, he's sitting there just blaspheming, you know. I mean, not even thinking, you know, like he's these guys. Who is this almighty God? It is maybe your father, but not mine. It too, stupid and dumb. I am stupid or I am not some dumb piece of shit that needs to believe in God. Okay, so he basically just admitted that he's a dumb piece of shit and tried to put it off on nature. Like, okay, you know, all I said was, well, I told the dude, I said, no, you're stupid and dumb if you think God is anything other than nature. It gave you life. It can take it away. In fact, the laws of thermodynamics are God. Why are you so mad at God? Do you believe it's a floating man in the sky? You sound like you do. Making God out to be some living, thinking man in the sky when it's nature that people screwed up. It's very simple. You have no respect for your planet. The planet will lose respect for you. And they screwed up the planet. We was talking about the people back in the past. You know, they screwed the planet up, just messing with the planet and messing with nature. It's not God's fault. It's mankind's fault for messing with nature and disrespecting Mother Earth so much. It's called cause and effect. And I told him, you're no atheist, so don't try to even claim it, dude. You're a poser, and I can prove it. And he basically just keeps proving it by trying to put it like he's just got a vendetta against religion. He hates himself. And that's indicative. This is the kind of people that self-proclaimed atheists are. And this is what not having a belief in nature or having respect for something higher than you creates. This is the kind of person it creates. A hate monger. And people, and the reason why is because the perspective is so bad, it basically made him hate religion. You know, my parents raised me in a certain way. You know, they didn't force the religion onto me, you know. They gave me a choice. The people that have it forced on them always have a hate for it, you know. Everybody I've ever known that was a friend that was a son of a preacher man, LOL, they were always wild. They were always the wild one. And if you've known anyone that was a son of a preacher, tell me they ain't wild. Tell me they ain't. You know they are. They're always wild, you know. So then I was like, you sound like the kind of person that would say a tornado is evil being from hell that eats souls for dinner. LOL. You'd probably call rain satanic for flooding an area because it's evil and has to flood the evil ones. Like it's thinking or something. LOL. You're no atheist, dude. Haha. Do you see where your argument collapses on itself? You can't believe in something. You can't believe something is something. Then claim you don't believe in it. You're a poser, and I can spot them a mile away. And this is the easiest way to do it. If you explain natural law to an atheist, and they can't believe it, basically what it does, it blows their mind. It's almost like they don't know what to say, you know? Because you're like agreeing with them, but you're not, you know? You're saying God is something, but it's nature, so they don't know how to look at that. They don't know how to perceive it, so it blows their mind. And then cognitive dissonance is set in if they really understand what you're talking about. It's funnier than hell, all right? Of course, this girl, you know, they ganged up on this girl, you know. Okay, people sin against God. against one another and against their own bodies, resulting in broken relationships. For instance, lust brings rape and other sexual sins. Greed brings corruption, selfishness, and theft. Murder brings death. And she's right. I mean, it's the way you're perceiving things. He's not looking. He has no respect for anything but himself, and he has no respect for himself. And that's one problem. He believes in nothing but himself, and he doesn't even respect his own self. Okay, and it's a conflict. It's an inner conflict, and it's one that's going on right now in the race wars. Okay, in all the racism, and I can point it out. And I have, and some people don't want to admit it, but it's true. No, I am not some stupid believer in this shit like hell. Those dumb people shit that believe God and hell or devil. I do not claim I am atheist. That is your stupid assumption. Okay. If this dude doesn't claim to be if this dude's not an atheist, I don't know what he is. Maybe he's just pissed off right now and has a vendetta, so he's got to get on here and get all of his frustrations out. But technically, I think most of them get mad when you can. They don't ever tell you their religion, but you can, or their belief, and then you lay it on them, and then they don't know what to say about it. But if you leave it out, they'll claim it. You see what I'm saying? It's one of them hypocritical like things. All right, so. All he does is sits there and just talks smack, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, this is another thing they do, all right? This is, I'm going to tell him, I'll watch. Okay, try to think, hold on, no. He says, I do not blame a hurricane or tornado as evil or God make. Well, the planet makes it, nature does. I mean, obviously, that's our creator, so. But this is according to the Bible. God flood the planet and kill all these people. Go read stupid Bible first, dude. You know, this dude doesn't know who he's talking about. All right. First of all, that's what's funny. Okay. Since when does an atheist listen to the Bible? Since when is he listening to the Bible? Okay. That's what they always say. They'll end up at a point where they'll try to defend the Bible as a last-ditch effort. Okay. And then you'll be like, okay, so why are you listening to the Bible anyway? If you don't believe in it and all this, why are you going by the Bible and using that? Why are you using something you don't believe in? You know? And then all they can do is just backlash. That's all they can do. I mean, because they have nothing. They literally have nothing. I'm just trying to show people how to spot an atheist and how to deal with them. Because they're funny, or self-proclaimed atheists. I've only met two. Two out of about 450, 500, roughly in that range. Two that were actually true atheists. They were like, oh, well, if you're saying that, natural law is God, well, yeah, I can understand that, you know. I mean, obviously. And then the other dude said, okay, well, by saying that, you're essentially saying there is no God. And I'm like, exactly. It's just a perception of the male and female energy. It's how you look at this. It could be natural law. You could be a complete non-believer in any religions and just believe natural law. Or you can literally believe that the stuff the religions say, the philosophy, like the Holy Father, you know, the Alpha, the nuclear energy and all this, the holy, you know, conception, God's love, you know, it's just philosophy and science. That's all it is. And people want to... That's the Y and the X factor, too. Science is the Y factor because that's essentially the male way of thinking. It's the brain, you know. And the X factor is like the female way of thinking because females tend to think more with their emotions and their heart, you know. I'm not saying females are stupid at all. So don't say that because somebody even tried to spin that one on me because I didn't explain myself in details. I mean, just people flip shit. When they see an opening, they'll try to take it and then try to focus everything on that when it's meaningless, you know. And then he's talking about faith is more lazy and dumb people use because they lack a brain and is stupid. Dude, I can outthink this dude on my worst day. I could be brain dead and outthink this guy. Literally. Okay? I'm not trying to be cocky. Anybody with a brain can outthink this guy. And he's sitting there saying, oh, anybody with like a brain. Dude, everything he said, he self-projected. Everything. Everything he has no respect about himself and he knows about himself, he tried to lay it out on God because God doesn't fight back. You know? It's a scapegoat. It's probably all he's doing. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna ask him something. I'm gonna say something. Alright, so this guy's Psyosphere, I've mentioned him on my channel a bunch because he used to be just like this guy. The God delusion is collateral damage of science by the laws of conservation and thermodynamics, okay? He finally got that through his head. The whole time I'm trying to tell him that the nature of energy is everything, like I was explaining in the Holy Father and all this stuff. He could not wrap his mind around that I was talking about both of them describing the same thing. He just kept assuming that I'm some kind of religious freak. But it finally went through. And I finally won the dude over, and he was one of my biggest. He was one of the hardest ones to win over. I don't know. I don't know if he couldn't speak English that well and couldn't understand what I'm saying, or if he was just in complete denial. But this other dude, I told him, I said, since when you listen to the Bible, you don't believe in it, and it's all stupid. Why are you asking me to read it? I've read it dozens of times. I've read Revelations and Genesis hundreds of times. Right now, you're either pissed off that you were born, you hate your life, your wife divorced you, you were sexually assaulted, or you did something to someone and feel guilty for it. Other than that, you are an atheist, but can't admit it because I called you out on it. And yes, Psyosphere, you got that idea from me when you were saying the same stuff he says 4 years ago. And it was 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah, it's the laws of thermodynamics. And it's explained in philosophical terms instead of scientific terms. Also, that God lives inside us too, and the quantum nature of positivity and good intentions are a real thing, hence the tests on rice and water molecules. So, will and mind are an aspect in that area, so God is more fundamental than just the laws of thermodynamics. They happen on biological scales too, meaning pretty much that we are masters of our own destiny. And ironically, this guy right here is telling me about Revelations, and the King James version, yada yada. Can't be confused. Look, it's all confusing because it's written in a certain way. Technically, the Bible is written in three separate stories, but they're similar. But they're written parallel of each other, and you have to read them in sequences, or it'll seem like babble, you know. But the thing is, they're similar stories with different results, meaning we have the potential to change things, or we can stay on the destructive path that we're on now, you know. And I told him he didn't have to believe me at all, you know. He didn't have to believe me. I'm just trying to throw something out there for people that, you know, think that, you know, the Bible and religions actually have something to say, you know, that aren't just a bunch of holy mumbo jumbo, and, you know, that literally they had something to say. And they really did. I mean, that's literally what helped me understand all of this. And Buddhism, and Hinduism, and Jainism, and Zoroastrianism, actually, those four, if you understand those four on the scientific scale, it puts all this stuff together. Just those four religions. Okay? And then when you read the Bible, it'll be like you'll see it with new eyes. You'll understand exactly all the energy aspects in there. You'll see the scientific aspects. And you can probably see them now if you're looking. But if you learn the Zoroastrian, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism. And Jainism doesn't even believe in gods. It just believes in natural law. And ironically, look up Jainism and tell me that's not where the Infinity Stones came from in Marvel. Thanos and all of that. It'll blow your mind. Because they're in there. And that's where it comes from, believe it or not.